Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris. Chris, give me an old man take today.
I am tired. Just so tired, Jimmy.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, let's move on to Rod.
I know I'm an old man, but let me talk to you. I am tired of watching match after match after match end in some convoluted way where somebody interferes or comes down to the ring or that ends up being a 3-against-1. The reason that those used to work so well, in my opinion, is because you had so many clean matches. Remember back in the day, you'd have guys like Coco Beware, Junkyard Dog, Hulk Hogan even. They'd come out on your weekly shows and they'd beat up some no-name, so the crowd would get to see them fight. They'd win a clean match. They can keep their up and their over going. But now it's every single match. That's why when you see a match like Gunther and your boy Gable, or Shorty G, as I should call him, Jimmy, that match is so great. There was no interference. It was well wrestled. It was exactly what you want to see more of. Then those heel turns where they do kind of interfere, those mean more.
So then it's flipped on its side then. Those longer matches mean more then, don't they, Chris?
I mean, can't you have those matches without them being 25 minutes?
Nope, you can't. Nope. There's a rule that if you have a match less than 8 minutes, it has to end in a disqualification or a schmaz. Over 8 minutes is fine. Rod, what do you think on Chris's take? It's actually, I don't think it's that old man of a take. And thank goodness he didn't watch during the Attitude Era. You would have had a heart attack.
I also think, though, I think he confused himself like halfway between that take, right? Because he's old. I think he kind of forgot exactly where he was trying to get to the end there, and I think he had a little trouble almost landing the plane. But I think I got his point overall.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. And a lot of times it's, well, they don't want to beat this guy and they don't want to beat that guy. The good news is, Chris and Rod, maybe you don't know this, but they write everything that happens. So it's not real. They have a roster full of people that they can beat. They can have Cody Rhodes just beat anybody. Honestly, like they did with The Miz and Tozawa. Okay, they did a little bit of something before that, right? But Miz came out, squashed Tozawa. That's what Tozawa's there for. It's a great career to have. You go out, you get your matches in, you get some moves, you get beat, you move on. That is missing. Now, they did try to go back to that a little bit a few years ago, Chris, and it didn't stick. So they would rather go with two people who are fighting, like in the next couple weeks, Jey Uso and your boy Drew McIntyre are going to fight, and it ain't going to end clean, okay? I'm just going to tell you that right now because they don't want to beat either, buddy.
Part of this may be because I did watch the Attitude Era, but like I watched the Attitude Era after the 80s and early 90s, you know, when everything was kind of done that way. Clean matches until the pay-per-views, and then either big, long, clean matches like you said, or something crazy would happen and somebody gets bit by a snake. But
yeah,
I watched the Attitude Era, and I did love it, but that was after a long time of watching the other. I guess now that I skipped a period in time, maybe, where I wasn't watching wrestling or following up, I'm missing that original type stuff I used to get. I'm just sorry. Watching the Judgment Day or Bloodline matches are getting less and less fun because I know somebody's coming out of somewhere.
It's getting repetitive for sure. Even though that Jey Uso and Roman Reigns match was a great match, everyone knew the outcome. So it really doesn't matter because everyone still knew the outcome. Rob, what are you hot about today?
I'll tell you what I'm hot about. I'm hot about having to give you more praise, having to tell the people once again that Jimmy Jamriska is the person that should be listened to when it comes to wrestling takes. All right, Jimmy, you tell me all the time that some of these people I give a hard time to during storylines or character changes or arcs. You tell me all the time, no, they're good. They just have to deal with what's being written for them. And one of these people that started suffering the wrath of me getting a little bit stale with the creative that was given to them was Shinsuke Nakamura. But I'll tell you what, Jimmy, they write an interesting angle for the guy. Let him go up against the champion who has the belt around his waist. Let him lean into what he does best, speak his native tongue. And because he's going to speak his native tongue, let's do it in the backstage video vignette form, which I know has Chris excited. We all know how much he loves a video montage. So you put that together, and what do you have? You have a newly created superstar who they literally, Jimmy, are singing his song once again in the crowd, and they did not do that for so long. So, Jimmy, all praise to you, my friend. You say all the time, there is so much good talent on this roster. It just needs to be written well, and we're seeing an example right now. So, people, listen to what Jimmy says.
And it's his turn. Listen, you can't have 10 champions. They want to have 10 champions, but you can't have 10 champions. Oh, and Chris, a backstage vignette. It's kind of moving pictures where people talk. Anyway.
Thanks, Jimmy.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. Nakamura is given something good to work with. And yes, if he wants to be the best wrestler that night, he can be. He's gone down a little bit as far as, some cardio, some work rate. But that's what they were giving him. Now he's in a position to do a little bit better in the main event of the pay-per-view we're going to go to. But speaking of pay-per-views, we did not do our show last week just because life happened. All hail Chris King.
Whoa.
Judgment Day came away with the tag belts. It's something I didn't see just because of how the tag champs won at Mania there, but it does make sense, Chris. Congratulations. Are you happy with what they're doing so far with all the gold in the Judgment Day?
I mean, wasn't this done already with the bloodline? That's the only thing I have an issue with. As long as we don't keep the only person I think can keep the belt for as long as they want is Rhea. I think Dom needs to lose his belt sooner rather than later, and I think Finn and Damien will end up having a falling out of some sort and lose the belt rather quickly.
Okay. I think it's got enough difference with having the women's championship, basically the number one belt on that stable, having an NXT title. Rod, though, are you getting a little stale on Judgment Day, or are we still okay?
No, I instantly was jealous of Chris's take when he said that Judgment Day was going to beat Sammy and KO at the pay-per-view. I was instantly jealous of it. If you go back and listen, I instantly started backing it up. I totally wish that I would have been smart enough to make the call he did, because quite frankly, I look at it more from the angle of what were we doing with KO and Sammy, right? What were we going to do with KO and Sammy? It was starting to get to the point where there just was no longer a story you could tell with these guys, right? You're getting the angry KO character who just wants to go out there and fight, and that just is screaming for, I need to turn heel again. And you have Sammy, who still is the guy who, frankly, and Chris, we talked about this an awful lot. It kind of made you mad. And Jimmy, I know it hurts you a little bit, but Sammy was the guy who was getting bigger pops than KO in that membership. So it was time to probably start to split them apart. Let's have KO go heel a little bit, right? Which was maybe what they're doing with the Jey Uso turn, because Jey Uso definitely is our new favorite babyface. So if KO's not going to give him the benefit of the doubt that Sammy does, all of that makes sense. So to me, Jimmy, I looked at it from a non-Judgment Day angle of, okay, if you're going to take the belts off of KO and Sammy for these reasons, who better than these two guys who are at least an established tag team? Because, Jim, we talk about that all the time. There just aren't a whole lot of great options.
Yeah, because they don't push it. They don't really care about it. And hopefully they continue to do well with Judgment Day and give them some good adversaries there. But, gentlemen, this is a huge day in the world of wrestling. Vince McMahon is no longer the primary owner of WWE. They merged today officially with Endeavor, making, I believe it's called TKO Associated Group or something. That's TKO. And UFC and WWE are now under the same umbrella. I see a lot of efficiencies coming, and efficiencies means two things. It means you really are trying to make your operations better, and you're going to lay off people, unfortunately. But I do see a lot of efficiencies coming with that. I see a lot of bargaining power coming with that as well, especially with the WWE up in a week. I would look for a lot more integration of the two. You're going to see a lot more promos on events coming up. I don't really see mixing WWE wrestlers at UFC. They might be in a crowd or something, but overall, I think this is good. However, gentlemen, this also means Vince McMahon is back from back surgery. He's at Raw. Well, when he can be. He was on Zoom, I believe, this past week. But Vince is back, and it kind of showed, and that worries me, Rod. It worries me a lot.
Fine. Listen, we can have our let's shit on Vince fest that we like to have on this podcast from time to time here in just a second. But let's talk about the one good positive thing I think that this TKO UFC WWE merger brings us, right? And when you have these two companies now trying to serve the same master, we are not going to have to deal with a Saturday where two huge events are going up against one another. All right. And I think that's at least a small victory we can take away from here. We're going to have the WWE maybe in a foreign country and they'll have their thing run in the afternoon and UFC runs at night, or vice versa. You may have that. Maybe WWE takes a Sunday, UFC has a Saturday, but we're never going to have to worry about a scenario where a big WWE premium live event is going up against UFC 279 or 86 or whatever number they're up to now.
It is right. And Tony Khan, you're alluding to the interview Tony Khan and Bill Simmons did. And Bill Simmons, great interview, always with Tony, because he kind of understands where he's coming from. You also know that he's not asking some of the questions that he knows the answers to, and he knows Tony Khan can't answer. But it is good. It is very good to have that taken care of, because I still see WWE going on Saturdays with their premium live events. I think that's a good model to have. And it just be every other Saturday you're going to get something. And then, yes, you will have some major weekends where they just take over. WrestleMania weekend is probably going to be one of those where maybe UFC runs some stuff in the morning and then WrestleMania in the evening, in the morning in a foreign country, not in the same area. So I think it's a great thing for shareholders and owners, of course, too. Triple H is not on the board of directors, still in quotes head of creative, but we all know Vince has the final say there.
Well, as far as Vince goes, Jimmy, let me say this. All right. We all know that Vince, when he first took the WWE public, right, he had just a little bit less of a hand. Sure, he was the most important hand, but he had a little bit less of a hand because he actually had somebody that he had to answer to. And now Vince has an even bigger circle of people that he supposedly has to answer to. I, like you, Jimmy, understand that he's still going to wield an immense amount of power, but he essentially has to make sure that Ari Emanuel, right, isn't that his name, is not ultimately pissed about anything. And then he still has, there's a little bit of a corporate structure there. So, and Jimmy, I'm just going to say the other semi-morbid thing here. We're talking about an 80-something-year-old man who just has major back surgery. You know what I mean? Like, who knows how much longer we're really going to have to deal with the whole Vince McMahon of it all. And so I worry about it creatively, yes, but I ultimately think that Vince made himself gobs and gobs and gobs of more money on top of the gobs and gobs and gobs of money he already had. So I think the Vince problem is going to be a little bit more understated than a lot of people on Twitter would like to tell you.
So there's two different ways we can go. This next topic, I'm going to take this one, and then we'll hit your boy Gunther and Gable. We'll also talk a little bit about Becky Lynch and Drew McIntyre, Ciampa also, but Nia Jax is back. She came back in the main event, destroyed Raquel Rodriguez, and that interview Raquel did, you can tell that had a lot. She was reading a script that was not a good script. She's smiling and, hey, I'm going to be the meanest person there, everybody. I'm going to be angry when I'm in. It just doesn't work. But Nia Jax coming back, destroying Rhea Ripley. I am confused because Rhea Ripley is supposed to be your number one badass. People love her because she goes in and destroys people. Rhea Ripley has to be, and we've mentioned this before, Rod, the Goldberg. Have her go in, have her destroy people. A lot better in-ring performer than Goldberg. Please do not get me wrong on that. Right. But having her as your number one heel in the company that people like, so it's kind of that, in between, Chris, is confusing to me. How do you think, Chris, they're gonna put Nia and Rhea together? Is Rhea Ripley going to be the face in this? She's got to be, right?
I mean, she is for me because I don't know who this other lady is.
Sure. This lady.
I mean, Rod told me that she was in the women's Rumble this year. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. So I don't know. Like, if she doesn't just demolish this lady quick, and I'm referring to Rhea Ripley,
sure,
then you really lose a lot of that aura that Ripley has, especially in being the leader of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, Rod, I was really looking forward to Rhea going on to something a little bit bigger, maybe a Becky Lynch, although now she's in NXT with Stratton for a little bit there. I don't know. Are you buying this at all? Am I overthinking this, Rod? I probably am.
And also, Jimmy, I'm sorry. This is terrible of me here, but Rhea is moving on to something bigger. She just maybe isn't moving on to something better, right? I mean, I guess we could put the whole Nia Jax feud in those terms if we were trying to make a crass joke.
This is one of the and I'm going to try to save it here. This is one of the opponents that Rhea is going against that is bigger than she is, and she has not seen very much of that. So it is a challenge for her, but I think it's a challenge in more than one way because Nia, in my opinion, not a wrestler, never been a wrestler, doesn't have the in-ring skills that is going to heighten a match with Rhea Ripley.
Let me ask you this, Jimmy. Is it simply because Nia Jax has a bit of an established name, she has a bit of a history here within the WWE universe, that she is maybe going to be given the push that we could have just as easily given to Raquel Rodriguez instead of having to fake a knee injury every turn with Raquel Rodriguez because she's just as big as Rhea Ripley anyway?
Yes, you could have. And that's when you go and you have Raquel dominate people for a month straight. Every week on Raw, have Raquel beat somebody in 2 minutes. You got Chelsea Green. You might as well keep doing it with her, right? So continue doing that and build her up. I think they're going to do a little bit of that with Nia. You're not going to see very much as far as competitive matches with Nia moving forward.
Because she can't. You just said it anyway. She can't wrestle, so she's just going to come out and squash people in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and hopefully she's improved a little bit, and I hope that's the case. I think we're going to see them at Fastlane. I think we're going to see that match. So congratulations, Rod. You're going to get to see another title by one of your favorites defended. But let's wait and see. I always love the fact that she got a job. She's been here back for a couple months, I think. I just haven't used her yet. So.
She's big fans.
We'll see what happens.
She's big friends with the Queen, right? So I got to give her a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I see her and the Queen running around doing things on social media all the time. So, I mean, listen, if the Queen loves her, I got to give her a fair shake. But I wish that we just – I mean, listen, Jimmy, I'm not like in the Rodriguez family here, okay? Like, what I mean? But I still continue to think that we did Raquel Rodriguez dirty. You basically have the embodiment of someone that can go up against Rhea Ripley on your roster. You've had storylines with her, and you're just like, you know what? No, we're going to have you keep fighting Rhea, keep getting beat. We're going to throw in this bullshit leg injury stuff. So we're trying to save. I don't get it. I don't understand why Nia Jax had to be brought in to basically take the position that Raquel Rodriguez could have already had for you. I continue to be confused by it.
Speaking of confusion, Chris King, your boy, Drew McIntyre, I believe is going heel. He started the process with Xavier Woods. You like the heel turn for your boy?
He's not full heel yet to me.
Well, not yet. He's beginning the process.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, is the crowd going to accept it? Because I don't buy it yet. Like, he hasn't done anything really dirty to anybody I care about or like. I'm not big on Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston, so it doesn't bother me any. I really wish they would have stuck with maybe pushing the Scottish Highlanders a little bit harder.
Jimmy, this is going to be so fabulous for the podcast, watching Chris's descent into Drew McIntyre turning from face to heel.
Yeah,
this is going to be fabulous. He's already giving excuses.
Yeah, I'm already giving excuses. I don't know. So we'll see. So far, so good. I don't have a problem with it so far.
One little dig I loved was Kofi Kingston said, or not Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods said about Kofi Kingston. He won his title in front of 82,000 people. You won yours in front of 0. That 82,000 is a little dig at AEW because AEW did in London have the highest paid attendance in the history of professional wrestling anywhere, period, of 81,000 and change. Of course, the WWE will say whatever the hell they want, and that's why they said 82. So I thought that was funny there. Rod, let's stop bearing the lead here. Your boy swore to God that he is going to beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. And Rod, as I sit here today, I think we are going to see that match at Fastlane. And I think we will have a new Intercontinental Champion in Chad Gable because Gunther's got the streak already. Let's go. What do you think?
Wow, Jimmy, I don't understand why you're trying to do this. I don't know if you have some sort of angle here. I don't know if ultimately you just are building me up so that then I'm just crushed and it makes for great podcasting afterwards.
That's
I don't know
the one.
What you're doing here. But I can't help but agree with you here. We need to get Gunther on. This man is bigger than he's ever been. Let's go. Let's cash in on that. We have LA Knight, somebody who's new and fresh, rising up to the very tip top. Why not have Gunther rush up there too? I'm all for that. Chad Gable, people are bringing in shoe signs. He's getting absolutely huge pops. The man's been around for a long time. If you want a good hand, a trusted worker, as people say in the business, why not move it on to Chad Gable? I'm absolutely for this. And I don't know, Jimmy, what would make me pop harder? Singing my guy's song at Fastlane when he comes down to the ring wearing a championship belt, or seeing my guy Chad Gable actually win one and the announcer yelling, "And new"? I don't know which one I'd pop harder for, Jimmy.
I don't know, Chris. What do you think?
I think he's going to pop harder if Gable wins the belt. I think that's a bigger thing. He's definitely going to be screaming his ass off for Rollins' song, but Gable winning the Intercontinental title would be a huge, huge deal for a premium live event. And let me ask you this, Jimmy.
Sure.
We both, or all three of us, know that was a fantastic match that we saw on Raw the other week.
Sure.
Is that a 5-star match?
That is a very loaded question. I love you, by the way. I don't know where you're coming. Where are you even coming from with that? What's the where are you getting this from?
So I started hearing about these matches getting star ratings.
Yeah.
I know they do it in the new WWE video game. And so
sure.
I started trying to figure out what matches get 5-star ratings. And apparently there aren't really any WWE matches in the past, 20 some years that have gotten a 5-star rating. So
wow, you are such an AEW hack. Or WWE hack, sorry.
So I'm curious. That's one of the better matches I've seen in a long time. That was fantastic. It went 25 minutes. I loved every minute of it. Why wouldn't that be a 5-star match?
This is recency bias out of you. Are we acting as if Gunther and Sheamus didn't just absolutely pound one another within the last calendar year? Come on.
I mean, they did. I also thought that Drew McIntyre Roman Reigns match at Castle last year was really, really good. But that was a fantastic match on a weekly show, not a premium live event. And it was a premium live event type match. It really was. So that's kind of where I'm getting at.
So, all right. So, wow, that's a very big conversation to have. So, you're referring to Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer is a Wrestling Observer. He's been a journalist forever. He started the dirt sheets. Maybe he didn't start them, but he really he's a huge person in wrestling, and he does rate matches. Now, you've got to remember, this is one person saying this is a 5-star match. People get all bent out of shape, like yourself, sir. They haven't given. He hasn't given W. Now it's true, Chris. It has been a long time since he gave somebody in WWE a 5-star match. The last one that I could find was all the way back on April 3rd. Let me see the date here. Sorry, it just refreshed on me. I'm sorry. April 3rd of, was it 19? No, I'm sorry. It was April 1st of 2023 was the last 5-star match he gave, and it was Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus the Usos. Okay, so calm the fuck down. Yeah, I went there. September 3rd, 2022, Gunther versus Sheamus. Okay, 5-star match. June 5th, 2022, Seth Rhodes, Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins. Lord in heaven, you people are nuts. So yes, now he's given some 5-star matches. It's one of those matches that's just out of this world to him. He's given 6-star. I think he's given 1 6-star match, just kind of a funny thing, or 5 3/4. He is a very, and Rod, this is interesting. He's a very analytical person, like very analytical. So he's saying that is a 4 3/4 star match, right? In his mind, that's what it is. Everyone's different. Calm down. I thought it was what even match were we talking about? You got me in a rant here, Chris. Oh, the Gunther Gable. I think that was a fine match, but no, it wasn't a 5-star match. No,
Chris, dude, you don't even understand either, like how measured Jimmy was trying to be because of just Meltzer and like just that guy's name, and like how that can just devolve into just so many different discussions on like Jimmy was so measured in his Meltzer take there. I absolutely love that. Me, on the other hand, I'm not a big Meltzer guy. Whatever, 5-star, 4-star, who cares? It was a banger of a match. But Chris, we're going a little far saying that that's one of the best matches you've seen in a while. Come on, let's relax.
It was a great match. I loved every minute of it, and I also didn't even know it was just one guy doing these ratings.
Well, I mean, everyone can do it, but he's the one that's most known for it. So, wait till the next match they have. That's all I'm.
We're gonna start naming matches around here turkey leg matches. They can be 1 turkey leg, 2 turkey leg, 3 turkey legs, 4 and 5, and we'll see if anybody starts picking up on that because it doesn't matter.
Exactly. One thing that does matter is heat, and we're going to end the show today talking about Dominic Mysterio, who came out and tried to talk to Cody Rhodes again. Rod, I believe you mentioned a little bit about your thoughts on Dominic and where he's at right now.
Listen, all right, I appreciate the long-term story we have told with Dom. I appreciate the career resuscitation is probably a wrong term because it was just the beginning.
Really? Yeah.
It's just the beginning of his career, but I'm pretty sure we can start to back off with the we're booing Dom while he's talking because I am darn convinced at this point that we are piping in a lot of these boos. We're just piping in a lot of these boos. If you're looking at the people that are behind Dom as the camera is panning around and he's doing his thing, there's not nearly as many people waving their arms around or cupping their hands around their mouth or even seem to be moving their mouth as there is a sound that is drowning out everything that this man is saying. And we're also now actually still having him give dialogue. We're maybe supposed to kind of hear what he's saying a tad bit, and you're having these boos piped in. We just need to stop with Dom is not even allowed to talk because I think we're goosing the numbers, Jimmy. And as you alluded to earlier, the WWE just threw out that they had 82,000 people even though they didn't. So I think I'm on pretty good ground here that it's very possible the WWE is goosing something considering it's all made up in the first place.
Chris, how dare Rod? What do you think? Yeah, you think it's real or not?
It may be real. I know for one thing, you guys will probably be able to decide for yourselves firsthand at Fastlane, the premium live event you're going to. You should be able to tell.
No, not as many microphone segments at a PLE, Chris. You know this. You've seen many. Not as many times where guys come out and just cut promos.
I do think too that you'll probably definitely see something where they may be turning his mic volume down as well to help whatever boos are coming in drown it out even more.
So I think you're both right. Watching the Raw, I watched it specifically after we had that quick text or either text or in-person conversation. It seemed that his mic was down a lot, which is a really good strategy, by the way. I like that. I love that. The people right behind him were pretty intense, you could tell. But also, I think it was just a little more intense than it should have been. So it could have been a combination of the two. Or, Chris, I think that that's a good idea with that mic being down a little bit.
That's
Either
fine.
way,
goosing the numbers. That's all I'm saying. I don't care how we're goosing it. We're goosing it. Somebody's getting goosed.
I like it. I like the bit. Even if they're trying to goose the numbers, I like the bit. I don't want to hear him talk. I want to boo him.
Okay, so we have the NFL season starting up, and we have our Balls and Brew with Williams. Williams had a pretty decent gambling weekend. One game, not so much, but we'll hit him on that on Thursday. Anything else coming? Anything to talk about NFL-wise, Rod? Anything going on at all?
No. They're playing this game called professional football that apparently a lot of people pay attention to like it's a second religion for them in the fall. And, I guess we'll check in on it from time to time on this other podcast where we have somebody who's pretty good at absorbing the excruciating amount of NFL information that is spewed at us before Sundays.
Someone who did not absorb the excruciating amount of pain as a New York Jet was Aaron Rodgers. So we'll also talk about Aaron Rodgers' injury and the ramifications come from that. Chris King, anything to add before we head out tonight?
Just like to say, I am pumped, if you are correct, to see more Gable and Gunther. Really pumped. Goodbye, net. Yeah!